We are covering the most common traps on the Instrument Comprehension subtest of the AFOQT. This section is all about speed and accuracy, and the test designers love to throw in subtle distractors that look almost identical if you're rushing. The three biggest traps are mirrored bank indicators, near identical headings, and barely distinguishable climb versus dive angles. Mastering these will significantly improve your performance. The Instrument Comprehension subtest requires you to answer 25 questions in only 5 minutes, making every second count. First, let's break down the mirrored bank indicator trap. On the attitude indicator, a slight left bank can look remarkably similar to a slight right bank. The exam will often present an aircraft in a shallow turn, and your answer choices will include two attitude indicators that are perfect mirror images. For example, one option shows a 5-degree left bank, and another shows a 5-degree right bank. Rushing leads to easily confusing these. The key is to focus on the top of the miniature aircraft symbol on the indicator. It rolls in the direction of the turn. If the aircraft picture shows the right wing dipping, the top of the instrument symbol should be tilted to the right. The second major trap involves near-identical headings. The test will show an aircraft flying in a direction that isn't perfectly aligned with a cardinal point. The answer choices on the heading indicator will then be clustered very close together. A classic example is making you choose between northwest, which is 315 degrees, and north-northwest, which is 337.5 degrees. On the small dial, this 22.5-degree difference is tiny and very easy to misread. The trap is getting you to eyeball the heading instead of precisely judging it. Remember that north-northwest is much closer to north than it is to west. You must mentally overlay a precise compass on the aircraft image to correctly identify its heading before looking at the options. Finally, the third trap is the subtle difference between a climb and a dive. A shallow 5-degree climb and a 5-degree dive can look nearly identical on the attitude indicator. Especially when combined with a bank. Test takers often focus so much on getting the bank angle correct that they completely miss the subtle pitch information. The trick is to look at the miniature aircraft symbol in relation to the artificial horizon line. If the symbol is above the horizon line, the aircraft is climbing. If it is below the line, it is diving. Even a slight deviation from the line indicates a change in pitch. The exam will exploit this by making the pitch angle very small, hoping your eyes gloss over it. To overcome all three of these traps, the best strategy is to slow down intentionally by just 1 or 2 seconds on every single question. This brief pause allows you to systematically verify the aircraft's orientation. For a mental shortcut, use the phrase, nose, wings, compass, check them twice. This forces you to deliberately check the pitch by looking at the aircraft's nose position, then the bank by checking the wings, and finally, the heading with the compass. Checking them twice reinforces the habit and helps you catch these common, score-killing mistakes before they happen. For free practice questions, AI-powered explanations, and more exam prep tools, visit openexamprep.com. That's openexamprep, all one word, .com.